Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Josh, and with me is my co-host here. You're
Oh,
not.
hello there, it's Nick.
Oh, yes.
Forgot my mic was muted.
Yep. Yeah. Here is Nick. Everybody. How is it going, Nick?
It's going good. It's going good, not too busy. My dog's just wreaking a havoc this morning.
Ah. Okay. Yeah. So today is not going to be that busy of a day. Just gonna do Last Duel. Just gonna do The Strangers. So just got two movies, two things to review today. So it's not gonna be that big of a day today. So the Last Duel, that's the movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Adam Driver, directed by Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott has got two movies out this year. He's working hard this year, so he's got two movies out. So we got that. And The Strangers, that won the poll for our nice spooky season poll that we have up. We're going to be doing a review of a horror movie every week, and put it up for people to vote on. Twitter, Instagram, at the Afternoon Tune. You all can join in and vote on the movie you want us to talk about for each week. How you been there, man?
I've been good. Just very busy. School just started back up for me this week, so I've just been playing catch up on a lot of that.
Ah, okay, yeah, yeah. I'm in the middle of my semester right now, finishing
Nice.
up. I just already took the midterms already, so it's coming close to an end. Yeah, so got that going on there. And next week, we're gonna be doing Last Night in Soho. We're gonna be doing Antlers. And those are the two major things next week. We're gonna be doing that.
Yeah, those are the two biggest things, I believe.
Yeah, and we're gonna also be putting up a poll since next time come next weekend Sunday is gonna be Halloween, so that's gonna be our final poll this coming up week for Halloween for spooky season. That's gonna be our final poll up there. So I don't know if we're gonna maybe do just a watch party. I probably just go with maybe put up movies we're gonna do a watch party for that next Saturday, instead of just doing a review. I'm gonna be dressing up. I'm gonna be doing costumes for that since it's
Oh yes.
Halloween that next week. So yeah. Do you have any plans Halloween wise?
Not really. No real concrete plans. Just probably go out with me and Man are probably just get a dress up and go out with a few friends of ours.
Okay, couples costume.
Probably not.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I think you already told me what you were gonna do, right?
I'm between a few options.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Yeah. So my costume is gonna be kind of low effort kind of thing, something simple, something easy. I don't have to put that much effort into, and think about that hard. So, yeah. So it's not gonna be anything that exciting. But maybe next time, maybe put some more effort into it. Keep this going. Maybe do something like that. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing there next week, all the plans. So let's get into it. We're going to be discussing Last Duel. Last Duel was directed by Ridley Scott, starring Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and Ben Affleck. This was also has screenplay credit from also Matt Damon and Ben Affleck as well. In
Yeah,
this,
I believe it's the first time they've written together since Good Will Hunting.
okay, wow. Yeah, so that's something. So, first time they've been doing that since Good Will Hunting, which they won an Oscar for over 30 years ago, was it?
I
Because
believe so.
Yeah, because that came out in the 90s. So in this,
Yeah,
you have
because I rewatched that movie and I'm just shocked how baby faced both of them look.
yeah, they've been around for a long time in Hollywood. Him and Ben Affleck, and it's kind of impressive. They maintained and sustained a pretty good careers. And then Ben Affleck had that whole kind of I don't know what you call it, Affleck assance, where he kind of, people are like, wow, this guy can
Oh,
really direct, and
yeah, Affleck Assance and then a downward spiral after the whole DC disaster.
yeah, but it's like the 2010s, like he's coming out directing movies like Gone Baby Gone, not I'm sorry, not yeah, Gone Baby Gone, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Gone Baby Gone was him.
and then
Yeah,
because I always
yeah, Gone Baby Gone, The Town, which I maintain is probably his best movie as a director. Argo,
mm,
which was won Best Picture.
yeah. Because I always get kind of confused. I always kind of think for a moment with Gone Baby Gone and Gone Girl. I'm like, oh wait a minute, which one is it again? Like I always kind of get sometimes those kind of confused a little bit. Yeah, so he did Gone Baby Gone, which we had Casey Affleck in it, and then The Town, and then like you said, Argo. So yeah, he was like on a streak, for a little bit of like, man, this guy's this brilliant director. Who knew Ben Affleck? And then he kind of fell off with what was that movie called? He did.
Live by Night. It,
Yeah.
it it was one that came out the same year, in 2016, when he had Batman v Superman, The Accountant, and that all released basically back to back.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, maybe it was a situation he just was just too busy and he was stressed and he couldn't focus on it. Maybe something like that. It's funny because in this role where he plays, kind of a ruler here, because Ben Affleck, his character is Pierre, who's kind of a ruler over Matt Damon and Adam Driver. And it's funny because he's just throughout the movie he's just drinking, fucking, partying. I mean, that's kind of like his whole role and throughout the whole movie. I'm like, damn, this must have been sweet for him.
He's basically just playing Bender Ben Affleck.
Yeah, pretty much. I
Or,
mean,
Bender Affleck.
yeah. I mean, pretty much, yeah. Kind of, that situation is just like, yeah, he just showed up. That's pretty much just what he did throughout just all the movie. All the movie you see him drunk. All the movie you see him in bed with, naked women. It's just like, yeah, he's just hanging out.
So basically just career resurgence Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I mean, good for him. The man bounced back from his divorce and alcoholism, clapped Ana de Armas's cheeks, and now is back with J-Lo.
Yeah,
Good for him.
Yeah, J Lo. Now he's with this. So now it seems like he's in a better place now. He's struggling with addiction at time with alcoholism. So it seems like he's in a little bit of a better place now. So good for him in that situation. So with this film, so it's a long film. It's 2 hours and 43 minutes. And I think the great thing about this film is it really divvies up the film between the three real main characters here. So three real main characters here. You have Ben Affleck. I mean, you have Matt Damon. You have Adam Driver, and you also have I haven't mentioned yet. You also have Jodie Comer, who people just saw in Free Guy. She was also one of the leads of that film. So it really splits it up between the three of them. And I think kind of majority of the film, it's like it shows each kind of because it's separated into different chapters. So like chapter 1 focuses on Matt Damon POV. Then it goes to chapter 2 that focuses on Adam Driver's POV, and then in chapter 3 it focuses on Jodie Comer's POV and kind of her experiences and what she kind of sees, and it shows the same events in the film but from just different perspectives at a time. And the big thing about this movie, overall plot is you have Matt Damon, who is this knight. And he fights with Adam Driver, and Adam Driver is a squire in it. They're often in battle together, and they have some pretty impressive battle scenes in here. I don't think anything it's not on the level of something like Battle of the Bastards, like from Game of Thrones, but it is pretty good. You know what I mean? It is pretty good. It is pretty brutal. You do see a lot of limbs go off. You do see a lot of swords going through people's faces. I mean, there's a situation where Matt Damon takes a guy's head and just puts it on a sword, like he just DDTs, basically, or Stone Cold Stunner him on a sword. And he just takes like chain mail and wraps it around his hand and just punches a guy relentlessly with it. So it gets pretty brutal. Some of the battle scenes, but those are pretty good. And you see him and Matt Damon, who are cool. They're tight at the beginning of it. They're friends. They're hanging out. And then kind of dissension starts to sow. Because Adam Driver's really tight with Ben Affleck's character, Pierre, and he's this ruler, and it's like you ever been in a situation where you've been working for a boss and you feel like, hey, you're working hard and you're doing everything well, but then the boss just doesn't like you, like for whatever reason, like you just feel like you're really doing a good job, but your boss just fucking hates you.
One too many times.
So that's kind of Matt Damon's situation in the movie because it's like he's like, hey, I'm putting in work, I'm paying my debts, I'm financially strapped, I'm trying to go to all these different battles and fight and make some money and do everything I can to do what I can to survive. And it's like he sees Adam Driver's character who's getting everything handed to him, and because he's buddy with Pierre here, that he's like he gets lands and he gets all this different stuff, and he gets treated well, and I'm over here, just having to fight in all these different battles, and Adam Driver here is getting to live the good life, and it's kind of like that's his situation, and you kind of feel for Matt Damon a little bit because he's like almost like this working stiff who's trying his best to kind of survive, and it's just kind of like no favors are being given to him here.
His daughter did just convince him to stop using the F word in public, so maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about that. I forgot they did that whole story. Yeah, yeah. But yeah. So you kind of do feel from there in that instance, and the big kind of plot of why it's called the Last Duel. The big kind of point of the plot is that there's a situation that happens where Adam Driver is accused of raping Jodie Comer's character, who's Matt Damon's wife in the film, and then that's when Matt Damon declares a battle to the death, basically, and they talk about it and they were like, if this happens, and they're explaining the rules of it, they're like, okay, well, if you lose and if you die, because it's a fight to the death, that they're telling Jodie Comer that you also will die. That they're gonna tie you to a stake and they're gonna burn you alive, and it's not gonna be quick either. You're gonna be sitting there cooking for at least 20-30 minutes. You're gonna be sitting there on the grill burning, and it's not gonna be quick. So that's the consequences of what's gonna happen if
you get smoked like a piece of brisket.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. You know what I mean? That's what's gonna happen. And a lot of and that's kind of delves into a lot of things kind of early in the movie, it being a metaphor for, I guess you could say, like Me Too movement, things like that, and women at the time not being believed, and you have a situation where she has friends who don't believe her, what I mean, who's like, well, you did say he was good looking, and a lot of women remark at how good looking Adam Driver is in the film, and how good looking and charming he is, and it's like, well, you did say.
They'll have to get in line with John Oliver.
John. Oh, he loves Adam Driver like that.
Yeah, it's like every week on Last Week Tonight, there's at least like one 5-minute segment where he's just thirsting after Adam Driver.
I didn't know John Oliver had a thing for Adam Driver. Oh, that's something new. I didn't know he had that for him. Well, I hope he gets to marry him one day. Get to find some happiness. So that's kind of what happens, and that's kind of the big kind of thing in the movie. And you have friends not believing her. Her best friend is like, well, you did say he was good looking and all that other stuff. And then you also have Matt Damon's mother in the movie, who's like, yeah, well, you don't think that happens to other women all the time, and knights who go off to war and they have their way with the peasant women, and it's like, okay, they didn't make a big deal out of it. I mean, if it happened to you, okay, so what? Why are you making a big deal about it? So in Matt Damon, obviously he's a man in this period of time, not the most caring, loving husband, to say the least. And Adam Driver is also kind of a man at this period of time, also not the greatest person as well. I think so when they finally do get to the big duel in it, it is impressive, and it is really good, and is also very brutal and matches kind of what you see throughout the movie, which is also very nice. And the performances are really great. Jodie Comer, she's very good. I mean, if you only ever seen her in Free Guy, and first of all, you should be watching Killing Eve, because she's amazing in that.
100%, yes.
But also in this as well, I think that usually kind of happens with actors. Come from a big TV show that's very successful, critically acclaimed, then move on to movies, things like that. So here she's also does a very great job, and so does Adam Driver, and so does Ben Affleck. Even though Ben Affleck, I feel like everybody's trying to do more of an accent here. Ben Affleck, sometimes his accent kind of slips in and out a little bit. Like sometimes Ben Affleck just feels like, he's just having too much of a good time and goes like, oh, right, I'm supposed to be this person from this medieval time. All right, I gotta talk like this. You know what I mean? And because sometimes it feels like it's kind of slipping at times. But, he still does a very good job. So does Matt Damon. And it is exciting to watch. I think that this will probably, I saw a lot of people talk about Dune. I hear a lot of takes about people with Dune and how it was boring or it was slow or it was just
Hmm.
completely just kind of like that. I mean, with this, I think this has, you know, I think it won't be as boring for some people who maybe saw Dune as boring because this is also another. I'm just comparing the two because it's a 2+ hour
Okay.
movie, 2 hours and 43 minutes. I think it has those battle scenes to keep people invested. Okay, well, there you go. It also has the performances really great. It also has this drama element of it that's really big of what Adam Driver did and these different perspectives and them flash into the story because for instance like there's one perspective they show from two different point of views where it shows Adam Driver saving Matt Damon's life in a battle, but then the way Matt Damon sees it, it's him he saved Adam Driver's life, and it wasn't, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I mean, this guy talks terrible about me, but I saved his life. But you see kind of these two completely different perspectives of the same situation, and I thought that was interesting. I thought the way they played with that story was very nice. And I was very impressed with the film throughout. Ridley Scott, I mean, the direction of it, the look of the film is very great. I mean, they kind of have this kind of almost kind of grayish, kind of dirt kind of look of it, which is nice. Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. And sometimes, I mean, at this point, it kind of Ridley Scott career. I mean, he's done a lot of movies. It can be kind of hit or miss sometimes. I mean, he can.
Yes. I think I had a debate with a couple friends of mine between like him and his brother Tony Scott. And the kind of the conclusion we came to is that Ridley, he's made some of the greatest movies of all time. He's made some all-time great movies, like
Yep.
stuff like Alien, stuff like Blade Runner,
Yep.
Thelma and Louise. I'll even put The Martian up there. But he also misses a lot, like he does with his Alien sequels, like Prometheus, stuff like Exodus, Gods and Kings, The Counselor, his Robin Hood movie.
Yep. Yeah. Like you said, yeah. I mean, he's had a long career. Not everything's gonna be a hit. He's gonna have some misses here and there. And some of his misses are sometimes big swings of the fences for sure. Like Alien Covenant, like you mentioned, Exodus, Gods and Kings, Robin Hood. Sometimes he also just kind of makes something that's kind of there, just kind of meh. That kind of like Body of Lies. That was kind of like
Mm,
which was
yeah.
the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, which was kind of just like that's fine, it's okay. But when he hits very well. And he hits very good. So typically, a good Ridley Scott movie is typically a great Ridley Scott movie,
Mm.
and I think this is very good. So for me, I would give it a maybe a 8 out of 10. I think for me, I think this is pretty good.
Mm.
He also has another movie coming out this year, The House of Gucci. So Ridley Scott is not done this year. He's also got another movie, which also stars Adam Driver as well. So yeah. All right. So moving on from discussing The Last Duel, we're going to be discussing The Strangers. The Strangers is a film which we kind of picked which won the poll for when we put up for spooky season. So like I said, we're putting up a poll every week for the month of October of movies that people can vote on that we'll review just to keep up with the theme of horror, things like that.
Mhm.
And here, The Strangers, which also I think we reviewed the sequel, Pray at Night. I think we did on the channel, if I'm not mistaken. That I did have it up
Yeah, if
there.
you guys did it on the channel, it was long before I joined the show.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think I did put it up on the channel or something. I can't remember. I
Hmm.
maybe have to look for it, but yeah, I think we maybe did it on the channel because I remember seeing it. I remember talking about it because I wouldn't have watched that movie just for the fun of it. That's for sure. So here it's your classic scenario of killers, kind of invading a couple in their home, and the couple here is played by Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, who, funny enough, is also in You, which is a show that we just reviewed for season 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you mentioned when we were putting together the poll, you mentioned The Strangers because of the guy from You was in it, and it took me a second to remember. Wait, what? Wait, which guy from You? Oh, right, Scott Speedman.
yeah. So yeah, he's in that. So I was like, oh, that's a funny little coincidence. So it'd be nice to put his film on the poll here. And Liv Tyler, who people know from she was in Incredible Hulk. She's also the daughter of Liv Tyler as well. So she's been.
Steven Tyler's
I mean,
daughter.
yeah, Steven Tyler's
Yeah,
daughter.
Steven Tyler, the guy from Aerosmith.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said Liv Tyler, daughter of Liv Tyler.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, a little tired here. Yeah, so yeah, Steven Tyler. Yeah, so who's the father of Liv Tyler here, and they're the couple, and killers are invading their home, and these killers wear these masks. They're coming in. It's two women and a guy that come and stalking them in their home. What did you kind of think about this movie here?
I think with this movie, there's kind of a beauty in its simplicity. Like this is a home invasion film, stripped down to its most basic parts. It's just a couple in a house being stalked and terrorized by three masked people. And it's a movie that's supposedly based on a true story, which definitely have a skeptical eyes whenever you hear that. I think mostly it's based on the Manson murders. But for me, what works about this movie is the spookiness along with some, I'd say, really well-crafted jump scares, especially in the first act, like when the people start stalking the house. There's this amazing long take of just Liv Tyler in the kitchen of her house, and in the background you see one of the strangers. And what amazes me about this movie is, one, how slow paced the film is, and that not a lot happens, which are some of the criticisms that I hear about this, which I get it. But I think the slow burn of this is meant to instill that sense of tension and unease throughout the film, all the way up until the final act.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, it's a very simple film, home invasion. We've seen kind of many things like that before, and there are some kind of creepy elements of it with the kind of with the strangers, the killers, kind of stalking them. You see things like them in the background, which is pretty nice, and I think that's kind of very effective, and it's just mainly just those two. You just mainly just were seeing Liv Tyler, just seeing Scott Speedman. You don't really see that many other characters kind of come in here, and the killers. You don't really see anybody else really come in here, which adds to that sense of isolation, of kind of fear, and just the being trapped nature of it. So I think that's very good. I'd say where kind of the elements kind of for me just drop off is compare it to something like I would say like Hush. I think in something like Hush, which did the same thing, home invasion type of scenario, which was by Mike Flanagan, and Mike Flanagan, we also did stuff reviewed pretty much majority of his stuff like Midnight Mass and the Haunting of Hill House series. I think that was also kind of very good, and I think better than something like this because you're really dealing with the sense of that person who was mute and who was also deaf, and things like that. So that added more to the tension of things. And it really just took a very much this person who took very much an offensive approach to it and really worked out this scenario of how to really beat this person that was home invading. Them as a couple, generic, just okay couple, you know what I mean? Doesn't really, I don't think, attach you much to them as people all that much. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think kind of one of the things that does endear you to them is just kind of this, because the movie opens and you can clearly see there's some tension going on, and it's like Scott Speedman proposed to Liv Tyler, but she turned him down, and it's awkward, but there's still a sense that they care about each other, right? Which I think is a cliche dodge from like any other movie like this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And I think, like you see kind of them together and it's like, I think to see them together in this relationship and not the most exciting to see them almost. And I don't think there's just much that really connects you as an audience member to them. And I think besides for the suspenseful stuff going on and a little bit of the creepy moments, there's really not much substance here beyond that. And it's just kind of it comes overall as just kind of generic for me.
Mm.
And this is a very short film too. It's only an hour and 25 minutes, and they try to do the best to pack all that in there, pack all that suspense. Even in an hour and 25 minutes, it just kind of comes off as I don't know, somewhat tedious at moments, and somewhat kind of just like okay, let's just kind of more get to it. Even though the movie is as short as it is, I mean, kind of, what are your thoughts on that?
You bring up how short the movie is, but honestly, it doesn't really bother me. Uh, I prefer a movie like this that is kind of this slow burn, have this kind of length, so we can get the hell out of this movie quick enough. But for me, I feel like I liked it a lot more than you did. I liked a lot of the tension building in this. Even though I kind of do agree with you that one of the weaknesses of the film are the performances from at least Liv Tyler. I think Scott Speedman, he's doing fine with
Mm.
what he's given, but I think Liv Tyler, it's a case where she is acting, and I can tell that she is acting. She's not like embodying a character in there.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I feel you. And Liv Tyler, I've always kind of noticed that, but in this film, she's got a very soft voice, like super
Mm-hmm.
soft. So it's kind of tough to hear her at points. Like I always kind of noticed that about her, and just her voice and everything like that. But yeah, in this one, it just like feels like I barely hear her at times in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of scenes, and yeah, that's just like a little kind of small thing there. And the killers themselves, I don't know. I mean, they're not all that terrifying. A little bit. I mean, these kind of people in the mask and whatever. It's like okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're all that terrifying.
Mm.
And a lot of situations here just feels like it's the fault of the couple. Like there's different situations that you could do that you could much more improve upon, and be better at defending yourself here. And then some of the torture porn elements of it too. I'm not too big of a fan of, as well. Like towards the end, I'm
Mm.
not too big of a fan of. But
Yeah, yeah, where you weren't a big fan of it, that's for me where this movie kind of gets its strength because uh, remembering the time that this came out, this was like 2008, so like 7 years removed from 9/11. So I feel like horror at that time it took on a much more like realistic, grounded, or a more cynical feeling with it, and especially once you get to the end of this movie where they constantly ask why the strangers are doing this, and the answer is you were home.
mm,
It's yeah, a crime like this, it is random and it feels like that. And for me, that's what's kind of terrifying about the brutality of it. Is I remember the first time I saw this, I was at like home alone at my parents' house, and I was like 3 in the morning when I watched it, which is not the best time to watch it because you'll freak yourself out.
yeah. I mean, I could see it scaring some people. I mean, the home invasion element is always, one of the. I
Hmm.
mean, I think part of horror movies is the relatability. Is
Hmm.
you can see kind of something like this happen, and that's kind of part of what makes horror movies as scary as they are. And the fear of the home invasion of just these people who would come and kill you and tie you up and and things like that. I mean, obviously there are real cases like that of things that have happened like that. Killers like Richard Ramirez, and you brought up like the Manson
Hmm.
murders, things like that. So that is very kind of scary. I just don't think in a film like this it doesn't really rise above the genericness of it for me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give it a light six, maybe a five. I'm gonna go with five
Hmm.
out of 10 for me. What about you?
I really dug most of the scares in this. I think the real weakness of it are the performances from Liv Tyler that you see in here. But I think the movie's creepy enough, and I think it builds tension well enough that I can give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's not on my. It's not. It's not going to be on my list of rewatches every Halloween, but if it comes on like Netflix and I haven't seen it in a while, I'll check it out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and that is it, people. That was our review of The Strangers, and we also did a review for The Last Duel. So we're going to be back with more content when we come in. Because I can only see Last Night in Soho Friday, so we're going to be doing Friday, Last Night in Soho, and then Saturday we're going to be doing Antlers because I can go see Antlers that Saturday. So we're going to be doing that. Which movie can you see, Nick?
Uh, Let me see. I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't see Antlers playing here in Japan, and I know and I know Last Night in Soho. It's supposed to make its premiere at Tokyo International Film Festival like 2 weeks from now, but that screening's all sold out.
Wow. Well, people love them some Edgar Wright over there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So we'll see what you can see. So Friday, we'll do the Last Night in Soho, and then Saturday we have the Antlers. Probably gonna come back to you all 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time or 8 p.m. Central Standard Time Friday. Same thing with Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time as well. Saturday, we're also going to be doing our final spooky season movie. Possibly do a watch party there that Saturday as well. Check out a movie there for watch party. It's going to be looking up some movies to put up before the poll to do a watch party on there.
Right.
Also, we're going to be doing a series review as well, TV series. So we're going to be discussing that. Do you want to do a horror series, or would you want to do just like because that show with Selena Gomez that ended, so we could do only murders in the building. I keep hearing really great things about that. So
I hear good things about that. Yeah, let's do it.
yeah, so yeah, we'll probably just do that one Saturday, do a series review, and do a watch party. So we'll have that going on there Saturday. And Wednesday, Thursday, probably do some streaming. I'm going to be doing some video game streaming, Resident Evil with Dusk. Probably doing that with him. Checking out RE2, playing that a little bit as well. And maybe even Monday too, because I'm gonna do a day off there Monday. Yeah, I'm gonna do a day off that Monday, so maybe do some streaming there as well. All right. So we're gonna be heading out here. Nick, where can people find you?
All right, you can find me Twitter, Instagram at Night and Day Nick. You can find the doggo here, Bubbles. Say hi. You can find her Instagram at bub.bles0922. Josh, where can they find the show?
Okay, so you can find us on all the social medias: Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All the Afternoon Tune. If you want to check us out there. Of course, you can always email us at theafternoontune@gmail.com. We're also on TikTok at the Afternoon Tune. You can also, if you want to, listen to the podcast. We're wherever you listen to podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Hey, on Apple Podcasts, make sure to check us out and leave a 5-star review, detailed review that helps boost up the podcast. It does a lot for the podcast. And of course, we're streaming on Twitch, right? Twitch.tv/The Afternoon Tune as well. And we're also on YouTube at youtube.com, The Afternoon Tune. If you want to check us out there, do all that good YouTube stuff. You know what to do with all that fun YouTube stuff as well. So don't forget that as well. And we got a new outro music here that I'm going to play here to play us out. Outro music there made by Nicholas Scott. So he helped us out a lot there. Thank you so much, man, for that. Super appreciated. So I'm going to let this play and get on out of here. So thank you so much, man. All right. Take care, people.